Hi, Trinity Baptist Church. I'd like to go today to a psalm that really struck me when we were on family vacation last week. This is Psalm 31, verse 5. Or actually, before I read it, you probably know that Jesus often prayed the Psalms in the Gospels. One of the most famous is when he is on the cross, he prays, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Which is not something he just came up with out of thin air. It's a psalm, Psalm 22. It's a psalm that starts with that prayer of forsakenness and ends with a declaration of trust, and those are the words that Jesus is praying to God on the cross. There's another psalm I realized last week that Jesus prays on the cross. I don't know why I'd never noticed it before reading through the Psalms, but Psalm 31:5 is also a prayer we hear Jesus pray. It says, "Into your hand I commit my spirit, for you have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God." And it strikes me that this must have been a prayer Jesus prayed not only at the end of his life as a prayer by which he committed himself to God in death, but it must have been one he prayed throughout his life. One of the reasons I think that is because in Psalm 31, it doesn't appear to be about a prayer about death. It's a prayer about committing ourselves to God in life. And also because if Jesus learned the Psalms, he wasn't holding a Bible in his hand on the cross, and he knew them by heart. He must have learned them by praying with them. And so I imagine for Jesus to be able to pray that on the cross, at the very end, part of learning to pray that way, part of forming the heart that would pray that way, was praying that way throughout his life. Perhaps in 40 days of temptation in the wilderness, maybe when he hears that John the Baptist has been killed and he is looking for time to be alone and in prayer, or perhaps when his disciples are falling asleep on him when they're supposed to be praying with him, or they abandon him. Whatever it is that makes it challenging for Jesus to follow God, the Psalms have taught him a prayer by which he can commit to God. Into your hand I commit my spirit. And I think that's a good prayer for us. One that not only the Bible teaches us in this particular chapter, but that our Lord Jesus teaches us in his final moments of his earthly ministry. Into your hand I commit my spirit, for you have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God. Fitting prayer for him, and it's a fitting prayer for us today. O God, into your hand we commit our spirit.